How y'all doing today? I am Eli. Yes, this is my face. This is how I look. You know what I'm saying? Nice to meet all y'all. Ignore my camera shyness. Today I want to discuss to y'all my up and coming series, Dragon Ball Rebirth, that I have been working on since about August, September maybe. At least coming up with the concepts and etc. And basically, I would like to talk to y'all about a slight summary of what the story is about, and also the scheduling and releasing of the series. So let's get straight into that. I'll give you all the slight summary that I already have written down. Dragon Ball Rebirth is a fan-made story that takes place in the year 2020 in the Dragon Ball world. Four nations have a brewing. I read that wrong. Reset. Dragon Ball Rebirth is a fan-made story that takes place in the year 2020 in the Dragon Ball world. Four nations that have had a brewing conflict for the past 20 years have finally spilled over. On top of that, creatures known as Saiyan rejects have somehow been brought back by a shady organization. How will Mikkel, Haruto, and Empress Emi Namikaze solve this ordeal? So basically, one thing I want to make key about the story is the fact that it has nothing to do with Saiyans. Well, Saiyan rejects are Saiyans in a way, but it'll be described more in story. They're not actually Saiyans. Please did not have any Saiyans, Namekians, any other kind of races in the story outside of humans. I did this because I realized many other Xenoverse fan series don't do that, and they all kind of have the same concept, similar concepts. My goal for the series is to have something really unique in this space. I plan to make this my final Xenoverse fan series. I did one before called Dragon Ball Future Generations. If you know what that is, hi, I created that too. You've been in this Xenoverse space for a while. I also created that back in 2022 when I was about 17 years old. It wasn't the best, but it was my first attempt at writing a story, and I think for a first timer I did the best I could. And honestly, the only reason why I stopped was because I wanted to work on a different project at the time, but I ended up canceling that idea and just didn't do it. But instead, if I ever were to come back to that, or if I ever were to redo Future Generations, because my goal low key, I want to retell Future Generations again and make it better and make the story make more sense than it did the first time, and just revamp it. But ultimately I ended up changing my mind. I'm not saying that's out of the picture. That might happen one day, but it's just not gonna be today, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, my goal for this series is to make it so much different than other Xenoverse series. I think the most unique Xenoverse series I've watched so far is probably Cobra's Dragon Ball Shinka, and his was tough. I ain't gonna hold you. I think his probably has the most uniqueness in his. Another thing we need to discuss is the release date for this series. Like, I want the series to show how much I can push Xenoverse fan series RPs to its limit, and at least to the best of my abilities. I don't want to try to compare myself to other series, and simply put, just try to make it the best I can make it, my best Xenoverse story that I can possibly make. That's the ultimate goal for this series. Ultimate goal for the series, simply put, just make the best I can be, make the best I can make it, and make it as different, unique as it can be. Hence the character designs. If you've seen my if you've been in the Discords, any Discord servers, and or any of my TikToks, or even some I post on my community page, I don't think I post that much though, you would see some of the character designs I had for it and how different and unique I try to make the characters look. The designs are really inspired mainly from series like Boruto, Gacha Yakuza, and it's kind of, not gonna hold you. If I tell you what the story is also heavily inspired off of, it's low-key my goal for it. At first, it was inspired by way more other series. Now I think mainly I'd compare it to something more of a Jujutsu Kaisen / Attack on Titans, kind of, sort of, maybe even Code Geass or sprinkling there, but keeping the Dragon Ball world in it. One thing too about other fan-made series with Dragon Ball in the Xenoverse space, it's so, sometimes they make them and it's very, they don't keep any of like the Dragon Ball concept still in there, which is fine. I'm not saying that's an issue, but I think for my goal, if the names don't have Dragon Ball in it, I would like to keep some Dragon Ball things, if that makes any sense, in there. It's like the power system. The power system in Rebirth is still the basic power system from Dragon Ball. It's just very nerfed and dumbed back down to the point where most characters nowadays, they just can't. Everyone's so much weaker now since it's been so many years of peace. Even though I should also add to, since it's been 2,000 some years. That also means they went past the times of like the Xenoverse timeline, or I guess Dragon Ball Online's timeline and Dragon Ball Xenoverse timeline. So mainly it's like a sequel to like Dragon Ball Online-ish or Xenoverse in a very weird way. But the power system for Rebirth is, yeah, like I said before, it's still very so yeah, since so many years have passed now, like in the lack of thirst they have been, the world kind of slowly went back down to like everyone's just at a very weaker level again, even weaker than people in the original Dragon Ball. That's how scaled down I made it. Also I made it in a way so like characters can use ki, but they only use so much of it, and only people who are really skillful with ki can use it, and that's kind of really it. There's also some like other elements I put in it, but again, I gotta say some of that because I can't spoil everything. Like come on now, bro. Anyways, let's move on from that point. I want to really give y'all the schedule I have for it. One thing I've learned from when I used to make when I made Future Generations was I had no clear-cut schedule how I was gonna release any of these series because I just released them when it was done. Now my goal is to make it so I can consistently drop these episodes, get them done at a consistent rate, and not have too many episodes too. Originally, Future Generations was supposed to be like 3 seasons, and yeah, we didn't even finish season 1, big dog. So I mean, again, one day I'm getting back to that. One day I want to get back to that. You're not saying one day. But my goal now is to make sure I have a healthier releasing schedule, and that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get into that right now. The release date for Rebirth is supposed to be set in, I want to release this by, there's a few releasing schedules. I don't want to rush this series out. That's one thing I realized. I don't want to have any rush to this. I want to be able to get it out when it's just done and it looks good enough to show to y'all. So right now, my release schedule for it is probably late February, either between the time of late February, early March, and if not then late March, early April, like the latest I'd go. Mainly because I want to be able to get as much episodes finished first. At least the first. My goal right now is to get the first 2 episodes done and then release it, which is the next thing I have. I want to be able to release the first 2 episodes, get those finished, done, voice acted, edited, etc., and then be able to have those finished and then release those. So my goal really is to have a later date for them, but I want to have the first 2 episodes done first, and the goal is to have you get 2 episodes every month rather than you get an episode and then you gotta wait like 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get the next one, which is one thing that we all struggle with in the Xenoverse space when it comes to making series. We give an episode and then you don't get an episode for like the next 4 or 5 months, and yeah, it's really hard to be consistent here. So yeah, another thing we have to add on and touch on is how long this series is going to be. As of right now, I'm putting it based on how popular it gets. If it does well, then we can go for a second. There can be a second season. I'll greenlit a second season, but as of right now, it's probably just going to be about, honestly, if part 1 does well enough, I can give a part 2 to this season. So right now there's a season 1, part 1, which is where we would start in, and that's planned to be around 12 episodes. At 12 episodes is the goal I wanted to go for. Originally the series was going to be really, really shorter. It was going to be only 12 episodes, and that was it. Like, I was going to make it 12 episodes and have everything wrapped up in 12 episodes. And then I kind of just thought about it more and more, and more ideas started kicking in, and I came to that conclusion of making it not way longer, but at least 24 episodes at max, and then stopping it there, depending how good it goes. It's gonna go based off how good and how I'm at after part 1's finished. If part 1 does well enough, you can get a part 2. If part 2 does well enough, you might get a season 2. That's how I'm gonna put it based off of. So you probably wondering like, oh, so you don't really have a ending for the series planned out yet. And in a way, I don't, honestly. I don't have an ending for it. My goal for the series is I'm writing it in a way kind of like how the late greats Akira Toriyama did his, where he kind of just goes with the flow. He just kind of keeps adapting to whatever happens next. That's my plan, and basically that's it. I don't have a full, like, I just have concepts, ideas, like plot points, and now it's just like how will I connect those plot points together. That's basically the goal for the series, if I'm being honest. That's it. Why I'm making the series is really because a goal that I set out a year ago, maybe 2 years ago on my old channel. If you've seen my Future Generation series, I want to make a series where I was like, I want to make one of the best, if not the best, Xenoverse fan series that has been made, and that was just the goal I had for myself. And now it's still the same goal, but more of a, can I make the best fan series that I can make now? And after this, like, I'm not making another, like, after this is all said and done, I don't want to ever after this, I'm not making another Xenoverse fan series. After this, that's a wrap. Unless Xenoverse 3 comes out, then call my phone. Like, I gotta go. I gotta do it again. But if that's not happening, then there's a very low likely chance of me making another Xenoverse series. The only exception would probably be just redoing Future Generations, and even that, I want to animate that one. So that's my goal for that. And yeah, last thing we need to touch on though is well, two more things we can touch on. The episode length of these episodes. I had a long debate with myself if it should be 12 to 15 minutes, 15 to 18 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. I have a settled on between 15 to 18 minutes. I think episode 1 might go past that. It might be 20 minutes, but I'm not entirely sure. The original script for episode 1 was probably a lot longer, like 24, 25 minutes. Now I think I shrunk it by a large margin, so it should be about 15 minutes for the first episode that comes out. And I think that's the sweet spot for it, not making it too long because of viewer retention, and not making it too short either. So I still get a lot of plot point and stories out, and the whole pace of the story. I think it'll keep the pacing really good. So that's my goal, practically. And yeah, one more last thing I want to add though. But last point I would like to add is I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this or not, but final goal, one thing I do want to do is I want to live stream like an hour, 30 minutes, an hour before the episode comes out. I do really like to like live stream and or stream and have like a pre-episode launch where we kind of just discuss everything real quick. But I don't know if that's happening or not yet, so I can't confirm that. That's it. I wrote down, here's literally what I wrote down. I said pre-episode launch streams, parentheses, possibly parentheses, because I don't know if I'm actually gonna do it, but it'd be cool. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool to do, to talk to y'all and, you know, saying, get y'all hyped. But I don't know, we'll see. But I've been doing a lot of yapping, so I gotta get out of here and tell me what y'all think, basically. Oh, also forgot to mention, got a Discord. I don't know what I'm pointing to. I don't think it's gonna pop up on the screen. I got a Discord server. I don't think it's gonna pop on the screen, but it's gonna be in the description. So y'all, if y'all want to join that, it's not really active right now because I just made it and I haven't really been that much in it. But I promise it was there. Like I'm saying, like you can still join the stream. Like I still recommend joining the server. Like I mean, like come on, I'm getting out of it. God bless y'all.